Hi and welcome to the Dragon's Table, and welcome to our very first campaign here on the channel. We're going to be joined by a group of friends, all kind of either new to D&D or who have only played occasionally or maybe not have played in this kind of setting before. We will introduce those in just a moment. This is a homebrew world with a homebrew campaign because we are instilling a very old DM rule that, you know, the rules are there as a guideline.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
So we aren't too hard on the rules. If I can make stupid brilliance or brilliant stupidity happen, I will try and do so. So just be aware we're not going to be very, very rigid with this. So also please be aware this is an 18 plus stream, so swearing will be probably a thing, mostly from me, myself. I do apologise. But yeah, so with that all said and out the way, let's get straight into our game. I am the DM, I am the Trixie Goth, and my players are, start with whoever, speak up.
I'm Cannon Bomb. I get to play for once, yay.
Who's next?
I'll go. I am HB or Mama Ho and the Bros, and I'll be playing Yasmita.
I'll go. I'm Pixie Pen, and I'm going to be playing Keyleth.
I'm Twilight, and I'll be playing Lilia.
Does it?
I'm Moonlight Sarah, and I'll be playing Meliana.
I am Jonan, and I'll be playing Bryn.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really far off the side. That is annoying.
And I am James White Dragon, and I'll be playing Lord Winston.
Right, so starting off, we are opening on the Isles Althoran. It is a twin kingdom ruled by two queens, Queen Honora and Queen Elizabeth. And waking up 4 days prior to this very cold, crisp autumn morning, our players have got about 4 days ago with a hazy memory of the week prior. From what they can remember, it seems as if it's been a normal week, nothing really strange. Possibly someone got a bit too drunk the night before, either someone had a really good meditation session, or they lost a bar fight that they didn't realise they had last night. But all and every of them have woken up with the need to get to the Althoran Isles. From there, our lovely group of adventurers have arrived. Some have arrived, and some are on their way to a city called Glebra, where we will join them. We're entering into the town of Glebra during an annual festival. What annual festival? No one seems to say. Any answer you get given is it's an annual festival. Enjoy the merriment, take part in the festival contests, have fun, enjoy the good food and wine, and my son talking in the background. So we're going to open with, I believe, Yasmita.
Hi.
So you've arrived in port previously, and you've had a day or so to kind of get used to. This is a 3-day event. This is the second day, so you arrived at the start of the first day where things were starting to warm up. You've had a chance to wander around the town. What are you up to now? Introduce yourself.
So Yasmita is. Do you want me to tell you what she looks like and everything?
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is as close as I can get to what I see Yasmita as. As you can see, wild, wiry, grey silver hair. She's attempted to tie it back into a bun. It's an absolute mess. Strands flying everywhere. Always bundled in many layers of robes, cloaks and wraps. She's got a hood that she can sort of pull up if she needs to disappear and hide in the shadows. But always many, many layers of robes and cloth and what have you. Obviously, I couldn't get her any older than this, but old looking, wrinkled skin. But she's got a twinkle in her eye, you can see it, she's mischievous. There's a lot of youthfulness behind those eyes. Now, the one thing I couldn't get on here is across the left side of her face, she actually has a faded white tattoo. It's in the pattern of dragon scales. It continues all the way down the left side of her cloaks and wraps, and mainly sort of under her arm and across the left chest area. I couldn't get that in here, but just so you know, it's all down one side of the face here, sort of continues down her cloak and under her arm here. So she's usually got a mischievous side smile slowly creeping across her face as she eyes up her next target. When she springs into action, she's speedy and agile though, and she's a big personality. She exudes mischief, chaos, caution, sadness, and some caring in there as well. And she sort of huddles along, keeping to sort of like the shadows as much as she can. She has been, since she arrived, she's been scouting just the area, keeping to herself a little bit, going to some taverns and having a few drinks. And you'll find her just sort of sitting, crouched, huddled in the side of a shop somewhere, just watching the world go by, really.
So Yasmita, having scouted for a bit, has discovered a lovely little tavern by the name of the Not So Mended Drum. 10 points to whoever gets that reference. And it's become kind of like a good hotspot. There's more taverns around, but that's the notable one that you remember.
Okay.
And it's about midday. Morning now. Sorry, not midday. Morning. You started off breakfast in order. Mended Drum is best known for their breakfasts. There is currently a competition going on out front from one of the cooks, which you can have a look at later. You can smell the most gorgeous scent of meat pies that are coming off the ovens from outside. There's this rather big, burly Furbolg switching between a couple of ovens, pulling out these pies, and you're just getting the most gorgeous smell. But inside, the tavern is well on its way to getting busy. There are some people who were there, from last night, still there this morning. You're pretty sure the person that was passed out under the table near the bar is still passed out under the table near the bar. And over in the corner is a small little stage with a small band of artists playing along. And Yasmita notices in the front, tall gentleman, playing. He is very obviously slightly drunk. You imagine he's about 3 pints down. Singing along, leading the merriment. And on a table just in front of this particular little table is a young female elf with a rather large mug that you're pretty sure was probably made for either a half-orc or larger, gently steaming, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else but here. So would Winston and Liliana like to say hello?
Hello, lovely people in the tavern. Welcome to today's fascinating, inciting view into life. Is it just a roll of the dice? Roll in the dice. Roll in the dice of life. Grab yourself a mug of gin and drink it all down. I've had one or two. Maybe
With that, can I get a constitution roll from you, please?
While we're rolling, D20.
Yeah, D20 constitution, please.
I got 12.
As you're walking forward off the stage, very clearly drunk at maybe mid-morning, just after now, you miss the step of the stage and fall flat on your face. Oh, Meliana, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, so I suppose I better get up and pick him up then, hadn't I?
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Do you want to describe yourselves as well now that we've had a brief interlude into who you are?
I'll go first then.
Describe Meliana to us.
Okay, so
This is a pretty close approximation as to what I think Meliana would look like. She's quite a youngish elf, although she sort of does seem quite wise and older than she appears. Despite the colours, she is a druid, but because of the fact that her affinity is more with nocturnal animals, that's why she goes for the blues and the darker colours to sort of show her affinity with the nighttime and all those sorts of creatures. So that's why she has like feathers in her earrings to sort of represent the owls that she loves. And she's quite a mysterious character as well. Like, she has a couple of like secrets and hidden things in her past that she doesn't really sort of talk about too much. But the one thing that is quite clear about her is that she always wants to be sort of like put together. Like, no matter where she's adventuring, she kind of always has to look like she's put thought into the way she dresses and presents herself. Also, she has these sort of blue highlights in her hair, which at some point may be explained.
and at the moment she's just not happy to be here. And she's kind of annoyed at Winston for making an idiot of himself again.
And Winston, do you want to describe yourself?
Winston is a very respectable gentleman. He's about 5'10". He has long flowing locks, and he wears a red coat with a nice trimming, which is very sort of royal and regal. And he wears a pendant round his neck, which is an heirloom from his long lost descendant, which he never met, but he claims he has in a dream.
So the three of you now in the tavern. The morning's getting on. There's two rather burly half orcs, male and female, clearly twins, bustling along behind the back of the bar. Yasmita, do you want to do anything in particular while you're here in the bar?
Yes. So I see, is it Winston or Whiston?
Winston.
Winston. I see Winston fall off the stage, and she sort of jumps down and scurries over to help him up. And as she does so, she's going to try and steal something out of your pocket.
Right. I want a sleight of hand check, please. With advantage because he is very drunk.
Okay. Let me just, let me get to the right screen.
I just want to note, we were exactly 11 minutes in. We're only 11 minutes in before this chaos started.
Sounds about normal for me.
Right, what am I rolling?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Sorry, I've got it on a different screen. 1 sec. Skills. There we go. That's 13 plus
What would
8. 18, 19, 20. 21.
Okay, my had to catch up with the math there. Right, that's brilliant. You manage to pilfer just a couple of gold coins off him.
Okay.
Make it 3.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
Are you
So
okay there? Are you okay? I'll just help you up there.
Oh, thank you. I landed on my backside, but it's fine.
It
At least
happens.
my instrument is not.
okay.
Oh yeah.
As you three are huddled together and talking, there's a kind of a ring of a bell by the bar, and one of the female orc is kind of standing up, well, broad-chested, and yells to announce, "Thank you for your patronage. Do not forget this evening, the grand meeting at the hall at dusk. Please, please, please do not be late. We will be closing our doors just before dusk, to allow you to reach the main city hall. All are welcome, guests and all. It is proved to be a fantastic close to the second day of our annual festival. Anybody who wants to order any more drinks, please do. That gentleman is no longer allowed to buy from the bar. Oh, you had one! And with that, the orc goes back to just dealing with people at the bar. Now, we also have Jasmine already in town. Jasmine, can you introduce yourself?
Jasmine is just taking in the scenery. They are not very impressed with some of the locals. They seem to be uncivilized and not a fan of the arts. So she's had to very politely persuade some of them to back off of some of the local artists. She seems human, except for the greyish colour of her skin. Tall, androgynous individual. They, them, but is okay with she. Short purple hair. Very seems haughty, but it she doesn't like bullies. So if you're not a bully, she's fine with you. But she's just kind of going around and got into the bar for something to eat and a nice drink, and then saw the bard fell on his face.
Okay.
And
so you've heard the announcements, yes?
I've heard the announcements.
Okay. So, being aware that you've been here today along with Yasmita, you also know that there were several competitions going on throughout the town. As, chance to win rewards, money, anything. You can try these as many times you want. I believe that's our 3 already in town. So, pulling into port is a rather large cargo ship, which carries most of the port's needs in general, and also carries passengers. Where our next 2 will join us. Could you introduce yourselves, my lovelies, and your characters? Start with Twilight.
Yeah. So Lilia is a very small halfling, got kind of tawny brown hair that's all plaited up into a crown on her head, but is wearing very simple, natural woven clothes and a lot of natural elements, like lots of leaves and things. She looks absolutely seasick. She is just wobbling around like, oh my god, what have I done? That has been the worst moment of her life, but as soon as she sees the port and the town, she's just absolutely awestruck of, oh my god, what is this place? And she just kind of stumbles off, just wiping off the throw up that went over someone. She's like, oh, never mind, sorry, okay. And then she just kind of wanders off and is just a bit lost, but she's got there. She's on solid land again. She just takes a deep breath and it's just, what have I done? Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that is her for now.
Okay, so Brent is he's a wood elf druid. He's about 5'8", 5'9", and about he's fairly young, so about 21-ish. And he's currently he comes from an ancient tribe of elves. And when they reach the age of about 18, they go on this pilgrimage thing. So he's in his final year of a pilgrimage, and he's just he's taking in everything. And on the way there, he was just meditating on just his journey so far, and what's to come. And after he finishes meditating, he kind of he heads off into the town, and just just not doing anything. Obviously, just kind of walks to the side, just observing everyone, observing the culture of everyone. See what's going on. You might stop by, see what foods they've got for sale. Just sort of take that in. But at the moment, he's kind of seeing it as like, yeah, it's a good place for him to be, I think.
So Keyleth is also on the boat coming into the port.
Hiya, my name's Rebecca. My screen name is Pixie Pen, and I'll be playing as Keyleth Greybone. Keyleth is a female half-elf. She's 35 years old and she's a ranger. She's 5 foot 2 inches tall. She has long brown hair that's usually part braided in the front or in the back. And she has fair skin with freckles and brown hazelnut eyes. She has a thin scar on her forehead above her left eyebrow. It's about 2 to 3 inches long and it's faded with time. Keyleth wears lots of greens and browns. She wears a green scarf, brown leather armour, brown boots. She also has a locket that she wears that's usually hidden, that's gold with a blue gem in the middle, which was her mother's. Personality-wise, Keyleth is a free spirit with a good heart. Her main goal is that she wants to be free to make her own decisions and choices, which is why a ranger lifestyle suits her well. She is kind and compassionate to others, and she does believe in doing the right thing and will help those in need where she can. She is wary of getting too close to others, and because of that, she never settles in one place for too long.
So as you come off the ship, the captain does check in and make sure you're okay. Hands you kind of like a skein of water. He says, "Not everybody's got their sea legs. You did well for your first trip, but maybe next time take a slightly shorter boat rides to save the mess."
Well, I did my best, but it's okay.
You did well. You did well for your first time. And the captain, as everybody starts to disemboard, explains, "There's a festival going on. Please go and enjoy. Lets you know should you need to. He will be leaving next morning at dawn. And notes that there are competitions and things for you to have a look around and explore the city." He also states that at dusk there is a normal kind of closing ceremony that should not be missed at main city hall. So with the rest of the day out in front of you.
So Keyleth, she sort of listened to what the captains had to say and sort of wants to just learn a bit more about where she sort of arrived to. So she plans to go to that meeting later on. But for now, it's just having a look around the town.
Okay, so as obviously she stepped off the ship, she's noticed a poor little one kind of running off, looking very green, looking kind of a bit bewildered, but very, very relieved to be back on dry land. You've also got, just coming off behind you, another druid, elvish druid, coming into port with you. You're coming out into basically a very, very bustling city. Festival in full swing. There's a lot of noise, a lot of markets going on, and just a lot of festivity. There are, as you kind of go around and start working your way through the town, and those that have been here for a couple of days, know that there are 6 competitions going on that you can take part in. Each testing a skill or just endurance in general throughout the city. One of which is a maze. Another is an arm wrestle. Another is a riddling competition. One is an eating competition. There is also a swim race and an archery competition, which you can all take part in to earn gold, rewards. You know, take your pick. If you are interested in any of those, you can let me know which one you want, and you'll head in that direction. If you just want to have a wander around and see what is there, take your pick. So what do you want to do?
Jasmine's just going to wander
I'd
around.
like to head in the direction of the archery competition.
Okay. Chris, you want to say again?
Jasmine's just gonna wander around, people watch.
People watch. Okay. Hold on. This is why I need this one. So, Jasmine, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Can people tell me what their passive perceptions is, please?
Well,
12.
13.
Where do I see that? Hold on.
It's a perception.
it's under saving throws in D&D Beyond.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
14.
Okay. 14. Okay.
Hold on.
So anybody above 13, raise your hand for me, just so I can see it.
13 and over? Or
13 and over.
16. Mine's 16.
Okay. Right.
It's a good thing I have no camera.
Jasmine, can you roll me a perception check for me as your people watching? And how do you pronounce it? Is it Brian? Brun?
Bryn.
Brent, can you also do a perception check for me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful 10.
10. Okay.
Not watching people very hard.
Okay. So,
8.
Got an 8. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. So, with those checks, you've just come off. So, you've obviously not got the feel for the town just yet. From your time of travel, in whatever you've done, you get the very slight feeling that, like, just in the back of your head, that something just doesn't quite sit right. Jasmine, you've been here a while, so you're kind of soaking in the atmosphere, and you're people watching, and something about their entire attitude towards the festival, to the activities going on, and the people around them does not sit right with you. You don't know why. You can't put your finger on it. It may be you're new to the Isles, therefore you're not used to their ways. But something about how the looks on their faces and how they're smiling just does not sit right with you. Okay, so yeah. So, Yasmita, Winston, and Meliana, what are you doing? Are you trying the competitions out, or are you people watching?
Excuse me, Mr. Orc person behind the bar?
One of the twins, the male one, turns around and kind of very, very politely kind of leans over so he can actually keep eye contact with you. Yes, ma'am?
The competitions that are running out in the town, are they free to enter, or do I need to pay for that?
They're a single pewter piece to enter, and that just goes towards helping for the next festival. You know, all the setup and everything.
And what do you know what the prizes are?
Normally, the prize you're looking at. I think for 3 of them this year, it's 50 gold pieces. I believe Apollo's target is 100. They had to, and the Guardian's plunge is 100.
Okay, I might head over to the eating stall.
The eating stalls outside are our chef's best pies. So,
what about the competition for eating?
Eating? That's 50 gold pieces.
As a prize or to enter?
Prize, a single, basically, penny to enter.
She's heading there. She's heading there. She's hungry.
Okay, so, alright, I'll find out what the other 2 are doing and then we'll come back round to you. Winston, what are we doing?
Did they just say a penny to enter for practically free food? I'm there too.
Okay.
Does Jasmine hear that?
Jasmine knows about it, yeah.
Jasmine could eat.
Jasmine can eat. Okay. That's 3 for the food competition.
I'm just going to follow Winston and make sure he doesn't make a fool of himself.
Considering he's 1 drink down and he's already drunk, yeah, it's fine. Actually, Winston, can I have a... Oh, hold on. Can I have a constitution flow from you, please?
I got 18 plus 1.
Do you manage to make it from the bar stage area and out the door without hitting anything? In a single straight line, beeline for the door. As if nothing's wrong, you've gone straight for the door.
Pies, 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 pies.
Essentially.
Pies.
Okay. So, we'll do that competition first. Bear me 1 second. So, you step out the doors and set up just out in like on a market stall. There's a very long table. Several racks of pies are sat on one end, and there's a couple of seats along the bench. Right next to it is essentially a stone oven with a, as I said, rather burly fur blog, pulling out more meat pies, and the smell just hits you. This very aromatic kind of smell, which just makes your mouth like saliva and drool. Yeah. There is already 2 people sat down. A drow male and a female halfling. The drow male was quite tall, well kind of dressed. His hair pulled up in a quite high ponytail, very kind of thin features. And the halfling is dressed in what you've come to recognise as this city's watch armour. You have noticed that they've kind of disrobed some of it, so it's not so heavy on them, but they're sat ready and waiting. The Verblog is setting out a couple of pies in front of each of them, and as you guys enter forward, you kind of notice you at your corner of the eye and goes, "Oh, more to join us?" And he holds his hand out, literally just for the 1 penny charge.
I give him the money.
There you go, sir.
I also gave him the money.
Okay. He puts it in this little kind of what was probably an old tankard, which has been chipped and kind of not useful as a tankard anymore, but he's popped it in there. He's like, "Alright, grab a seat, my friends." The first one...
Can I check where he puts that?
You do know it's very open. It is right next to where the ovens are, right in front of the cages of pies, just behind him.
Okay.
I will note the 2 seats closest to the ovens and trays are taken by the drow and the halfling. Okay. The last 3 are further along the table.
Okay.
I know where that's going.
We know where this is going.
Right. So, he directs you to take a seat and starts piling pies in front of you. The one who can eat the most wins the 50 gold. So he sits you down and he says, "All's fair in love and war. Eat what you can. The first one, if you throw up, you instantly lose. If you take more than half a minute to do the next bite, you lose. And there is no limit to how many times you can try this." And give it a go. So, you all sit down, you start eating your pies. The first one goes down really easily, it's really nice, but there's not much of a chance to kind of sit and really kind of take in the flavours. You've got to go straight on to the second pie. Can I have a constitution check from everyone?
That one.
Ooh.
You are drunk. I don't think a lot of pies would go down well right now.
Am I just looking at Constitution
Like there's
It's a Constitution saving throw, yeah.
Oh, it's where's saving throws? Saving throws. +2, 10.
I also got 10.
Fantastic. So, Winston, first pie is fine. Second pie is an instant bad idea. Yep.
How did it serve?
Turns around and slaps him hard on the back, sending Port halfway across the street. And he goes, I'm sorry, mate, that's you out.
Dang it.
Okay, hold on, I've just got to roll for my...
While
my
that's
two...
happening.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear it okay going on.
Can I use that as a distraction to hold on. To Mage Hand the the tin.
Do a stealth check for me. With advantage. Because he's distracted. Okay, so the drow takes the second one easily. Oh, that was cocked as hell. And the halfling does perfectly fine.
Stealth. Where am I seeing that? There. +6. 21.
You take what is essentially 2 gold pieces worth of pennies.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to carry it in.
Right, so can I get another constitution check for your third pie, please?
Seven.
Ooh. 8. Okay. Both of you find, as much as you love these pies, the third one has beaten you. You get through a good amount of it, but you just can't quite finish those last couple of mouthfuls. So you're both
keep
out.
the leftovers.
You can take the leftovers with you. The drow is also out. And our halfling takes the 50 gold. Right. So, with that out the way, who else would like to do anything?
I'd like to follow the halfling around.
Okay, I will come back to you.
Come back to me.
Right,
I'm going to follow them.
I'm gonna look for something. I'm gonna look for something to drink to settle my stomach.
Fair enough. You can either head back into the not so mended drum, or you can head off just generally down the streets. There is like a whole street market, food stall going on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wander the food market.
Okay. You do find at some point a very nice stall selling a very large variety of mulled wines, meads, some really kind of beautifully done wines. And they're giving out little bottles of samples that here, go ahead, have some. And along the stall, they give you literally just a handful of, hey, one of each of our bottles, have a go, as a way to kind of wet the mouth. Now it's a bit dry with the pies. So, Keyleth, where were we at? What are we doing?
I think Keyleth was interested in the archery.
Archery, okay.
Yeah. She's headed there.
Alright, fantastic. Bear me one moment. Okay, and
Bryn's gonna go for the archery, I think.
Bryn's gonna go for the archery too. Fantastic. Okay.
I would say Lilia is just going to she sees these tall people that were kind of on the boat, so a bit familiar to her. She's just gonna like sneakily follow Keyleth because the kind of woodsy colours are quite familiar to her. So she'll be like, okay, that one looks interesting. I don't know what's going on, but this one looks cool. Let me go. And I'll just like sneakily just go in her shadow and wander along just to see what's happening because she has no idea what else to do otherwise.
That's perfectly fine.
Keyleth is well aware that there's this still very green in the face looking halfling trying to follow her around.
Like, she's just, you can't see her. She's fine. She's small.
Okay, right. So you follow kind of like the signposts. To a lot of the competitions are signposted. So you follow them down along the main dock. So I will actually show. I don't know if you can see my map. Along the main. So point 6, you're going around all the way to point 7. And you come as you come around the corner, you see kind of like an open out kind of cobblestoned area, which has one central, very tall towered building, at the top of which is a single kind of flaring, flicking light, which you have heard from stories from the Isles, is their lighthouses, which keep the coast safe, given that, and can act as signallings to the off Isles for general. There's a weather storm coming in, or needing aid, or just to communicate between the two. Just keep the Isles connected. And just in front of this building is a very large and long, comes up to about, for a normal elf, about kind of like hip height. So our young halfling is kind of going to have to go on tiptoe to look over, unfortunately. But there's this large wall, just kind of stopping you from the very large drop down into the bay below. And set up is a little table with a rather tall gentleman. He looks to be in about his 60s, 70s. Very greying hair, very battle-worn. His armour is polished to an immaculate shine. Very straight back. And he has laid out in front of the table a set of bows and arrows. And he's kind of calling people over, going, test your skill against Apollo, try and meet his target. And he points out behind him, out to sea, and you can see just off in the distance what looks like a glowing speck that kind of flickers in the sunlight. And that is the target. It's about 70 feet off the main shore. And the rule is you get 3 arrows for your penny, and you get to try and hit the target. Okay.
Cool.
So as you kind of cover up, he kind of pulls you in and goes, come on, have a go at Apollo's trial. 10 points, whoever gets that reference.
I approach him,
okay.
And say, I would like to have a go at the trial.
Fantastic, my lady. Fantastic, my lady. Anyone else?
Yes, I'd like to have a go as well, please.
Ah, fantastic, sir. And he kind of takes your pennies and says, will you be using your own, or shall you use one of ours? And he kind of points down the table.
Yours.
Okay. You're given a longbow, a standard longbow, which is a +8 to hit, just so you're aware.
Can I use my own longbow?
Yes, you're more than welcome to use your own longbow.
Jasmine is feeling mischievous. I want to mage hand just to knock their bow just before they fire.
Okay. Right. Jasmine, can you make me a... Oh, what would that come under? Oh, okay.
It would
So
either be Dex or my charisma.
I would
I'm
do
using magic.
I would do a dex check, so I'd probably do... It's technically under a sleight of hand, really, isn't it?
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, do a sleight of hand check for me. Um.
13.
Hey.
I am getting
Can-
real dice because I'm hating this. I'm hating D&D Beyond.
Fair enough. So, Bren and Keyleth, can you both make a shot with disadvantage, please?
And is that dexterity, yeah?
No, that's just a straight roll to hit. So
roll to
you just
hit.
roll your d20 and then let me know what you get. It's +8 to each of the rolls.
Okay.
And you take the lower roll for me.
Wait, so sorry, I'm rolling it once or twice?
You roll it twice and you take the lower number because it's disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nat 1. Nat 1.
I got a 4.
I got a nat 1.
4.
Plus the 8, I guess.
Okay. So for the first 2 shots, both of you kind of stand ready, take your pose, you aim, you fire. Bren's, for some reason, the wind seems to have just caught your bow and the arrow goes whoop straight to the bay below. There is this kind of terrified scream and someone yelling, and you can hear people kind of scattering below. Unfortunately, Keyleth doesn't make it much further, and there's just kind of like this. In what was normally the quiet bay below, there is this kind of very tiny, painfully pitiful splash as the arrow hits the bay. You can now take your You can take your second shots with straight rolls now.
Okay.
You guys really aren't very good at that.
I just give a little side eye to the...
I just... Okay, good luck.
20! Nat 20! I got a crit 20.
Oh, 13.
Okay, so the 13 hits the target, but is not, and the watchman pulls out his telescope, looks, and goes, "Nice try, not quite the target," and then looks to Bren and goes, "You, sir, have won." And look, reaches underneath the table and pulls out a small little pouch and hands it over to you.
Thank you very much, kind sir.
Do you check how much is in the pouch, or do you just assume?
I'm gonna check.
Hey. As you kind of open it, he gently kind of puts his hand over yours and goes, "Not in public." And very kind of gently under your hand ties the pouch up again. And he's... Can you make an insight check for me, please?
Okay. Hold on. Okay. 21.
You notice, as he looks at you dead in the eye, he is absolutely terrified. He is terrified. But you can see that for some reason it's just behind the eyes. His entire expression is very jovial, very happy, but something going on behind those eyes is absolutely terrified and doesn't know how to convey to you just what's going on.
Okay,
But
so then
the moment passes and he's back, and it's almost as if this kind of cloud goes over and he seems absolutely normal. Nothing's absolutely wrong. He's just kind of congratulating you. "Well done, sir. You're the first one of today. Hopefully, will not be the last." And then he turns very deliberately straight to Keyleth and goes, "Do you want to try your third shot, ma'am?"
I sort of I've been sort of watching this exchange happen, and I go, yes, I would.
Hey, take your third shot. He does tap you on the shoulder and quickly goes, "Ma'am, your bow seems to be a bit of a misluck this morning. Try one of ours." And he deliberately hands you one of his own bows. Take your shot with advantage. So you roll twice and take the higher number.
Okay. That was a 6. And that was a 12.
Is that a 12 roll plus your 8 for your hit?
Yeah, 12 roll. Yeah, with an 8 plus 20.
So it'll be a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Dirty 20. So you line up again, take your shot, and something about the bow kind of pulls easier, and the arrow flies and hits the target. And the gentleman kind of goes on, "Fantastic lady, our second shot of the day," and reaches under the table and hands you the pouch. Do you try and check it?
No. After, I think, Keyleth decides that sort of after seeing the exchange that had happened, obviously she just closes her hand around the pouch.
He gives you a very slight nod and goes, "Right," and turns round very pointedly to the next person and goes, Come, try your luck against Apollo and see if you can make his target." And point blank ignores you from this point. Okay, so what are you guys doing now? Are you trying any other competitions or get through the day? Because it's now kind of getting into late-ish morning, early lunchtime. People are starting to head towards the taverns and the food markets and the stalls. Do you guys want to go for food, or what are we planning now?
Can
So
I check what
I
that
kind of,
halfling is doing?
So Winston has noticed that he is currently missing all his gold that he had in his pocket, and he's very embarrassed about this because he was trying to buy some food because after puking up all his pie, he was again very hungry. So he finds that he doesn't have his money. He has a few more coins, but the 3 gold coins were dedicated to the food. So he decides he is going to try and busk to earn some money on the streets with all the other musicians.
Okay. As it's you have tried attempt fooding. It's now kind of midday. Roll performance for me.
I got an 8 plus, where's my performance? Perception, medicine, vision, performance plus 5. 8 plus 5. So 13.
You do well. You've been here about a day, so people have kind of warmed to you slightly. And you walk away about half an hour later, 16 gold richer than you were this morning.
And a penny, because I'm going to toss him a penny.
Okay. 16 gold plus a penny.
There you go.
Thank
Wonderful.
you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Alright, says the person that nicked your gold in the first place. So, Meliana, what are we doing?
I'm just keeping an eye on him still. But
Fair
I
enough.
do raise an eyebrow at Yasmita when she throws the penny.
Okay.
Could I just get a general? Could I get a general vibe of like the crowd? Because like I had the ominous feeling from before. Could I just get a general like kind of
Can
vibe
you-
check of
right.
everyone?
Right. Can you both, Miliana and Jasmine, do me perception checks, please?
6.
So I got 17.
You got 17. 6. You're not sure, Jasmine. You've still got that kind of, hair raising, kind of filling down the back of your spine. You are starting to take more notice of the people around you. But as far as you're aware, again, it's, although you've been here for the day, this is a new country to you. So you're still kind of scoping out whether is it just everyone, or is it just the vicinity you're in? So you're not entirely sure just yet. As to Meliana, you notice, as you've kind of wandered around and keeping an eye on Winston and making sure he stays out of trouble, you've noticed that although the festival's going on and many of the the general stores that are here, like the alchemist store, the bookstore, the supplies and stuff, they seem to be running very low. There's things that, you know, normally would be staple stocked, aren't. It's almost as if they're selling out. But no one's making any point of it. No one's saying anything about it. And any time it's like someone says, "Oh, do you have this?" and they go, "Oh no, sorry, we don't have that." They make no mention of getting any stock back in. It's as if the shops themselves are dying down. Okay.
I don't like this. This is
The moment you scare your own scared DM.
I'm getting vibes, and I don't know if I like it.
The moment you scare your own DM is great.
Chris is getting vibes. Jasmine is just confused.
Jasmine's confused. Okay. So, it's now getting to lunchtime. A lot of the streets are kind of cleared out. There is still obviously the competition going on, and they're really pulling you in, trying to draw you in now. Yasmita.
Yes.
As you've kind of walked around, you notice that as they, you know, you go around and you've got people calling in for the competitions. You know, every time you go past a caller, they are being very deliberate to focus on you. And also, as Lilia walks around, you note with yourself, as well as Jasmine, that they are very deliberately calling to you. They will look at you deliberately and go, "Hey, come try one of these," and they'll have a list of the competitions that are around on like pop-up billboards, and they'll name them off to you and go, "You really should give us a try. You know, you could win prizes or cash or, you know, just a little bit to help you out."
How desperate does he seem? Trying to get us to play.
They don't seem desperate. It's just that, as you notice, as people walk past, they're just kind of generally yelling. But as you guys walk past, they look at you deliberately. They're almost making eye contact to say, "Hey, you should give it a try."
To Yasmin or Yasmita?
Yeah, Yasmita.
Okay.
Yasmita, Lilia, and Jasmine.
Okay.
Okay. What else is there to try? Well, actually, I know I'm following a little halfling lady,
but I can get distracted.
As I'm wandering around, I see two other short people on my level, and I go, "Oh, it's familiar." I'll start following them too, because I don't like the tall people. The tall people scare me. So then I'm like, okay, this is okay.
Are you noticing? Do I notice this?
I'm not being particularly stealthy. I'm just kind of wandering around.
Okay, so yeah, you full on notice this halfling who looks. They've obviously been a bit ill recently. They look kind of like a little disheveled, but they're very starting to become a bit perky now. They're getting back into their vibe, and they're very deliberately following you. Well, you're not sure whether it's you or the halfling in front of you. The halfling in question is walking through the main street, very obviously back to her station now that her break's over. She's had her fun for the morning, and she takes you up to what is one of the main fortified ship ports, which you notice also has banners out for an arm wrestle going on. And out the front is a small little table with this very, very hulked up dwarf. And he is full beard almost down to his knees. His short shoulder hair pulled back into a bum. He's currently shirtless. His armor is set to one side, and he is currently in an arm wrestle match with a very tall elf, who is getting his ass handed to him. There's another guard, watchman off to the side, who notices the half-elf and kind of nods, salutes, and then starts calling and going, give it a go. Try against our best fighter and strengthiest dwarf. He may be small, but he's strong. And he's trying to pull you in. He kind of looks to you and goes, what about you, ma'am? You think you can do it? Age doesn't mean anything when it comes to strength.
Oh no, I'm just a timid little old lady, but I do quite like the look of that dwarf man. What is your name?
The dwarf in question what kind of slams the elf's hand down, looks around, and says in a very high-pitched voice, "It's Will."
Oh Lord. Your muscles are very big.
I tried really hard with these. I'm gonna regret that voice.
And she's just gonna flirt a little bit, and then I'm gonna say,
How about this halfling behind me? Maybe they're strong.
and point at you.
Oh my
Liliana.
god.
Willow kind of leans over and goes, "Well, I've had halflings lay me out flat. Do you want to give me a try?"
Start massaging his shoulders.
Sure.
Okay, so as you come forward, you're sat down in front of Willow, and he says, "It's really easy. Just try and beat me in an arm wrestle." Sorry, trying to keep that voice up higher.
What's an arm wrestle?
Willow demonstrates to you. I elbow on the table, hold hand, the official hold, and actually gives you advice of, don't do this, don't do that. You don't want to break your wrist, and very caringly make sure that you're not going to injure yourself. Now, you don't know whether this is out of general concern for you or the fact that he doesn't want to be sued again.
Okay. And it's a competition. Okay.
Yes.
Do you need money? This thing, I pull out a pouch that has just random gold. One of these. What? Wait.
And he very, very, very gently kind of leans over, just takes a single penny and goes, "That's enough," and puts it down.
Okay, I got this. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I need you. Okay, I need you to make me an athletics check, please.
Athletics, okay. That will be a 14.
Is that a straight 14 or is that a 14 plus?
No, it's a 15 minus 1.
15 minus 1. Okay, that's fine. So, you hold against them, and you hold them there for a good minute or so, struggling against you until he kind of finally kind of slams your hand down. And they actually have a look of genuine surprise on their face. And then he switches over and does his other hand and goes, "Try that again," and switches the hand for you.
Okay.
Can you give me a athletics check with advantage, please?
Okay.
While this is happening, and I'm massaging his shoulders, my mage hand comes out and tries to steal anything he might have in his pockets.
Oh.
I've got both hands up here.
The mage hand finds absolutely nothing. You actually find out that his pockets are sewn shut, rather deliberately. There is nothing on this man. Beyond the trousers and boots he's wearing, there's nothing on him.
My nails
that's crazy.
To his back.
He's wearing women's jeans. That's crazy.
Yeah, I dig my nails in his back.
With advantage, I got a 17.
That's perfect. You struggle again for a minute or so. And this seems to be his stronger arm. And it takes a minute, takes a second, and whatever it was, he suddenly realised that he's feeling something around kind of like what would have been pocket area. And he's a bit confused as to what that is, because he can feel the hands here, so how is someone close enough to touch his pockets? And in that moment of kind of confusion, you slam his hand down.
Yay!
I beat you, big guy.
Both guards cheer for you, go. And when I was like, that's what you're doing, listen, keep it up. And hands you a small little pouch.
Ooh, thank you.
Pouch. Do you
I
check
am-
the pouch?
Yes, I immediately open it.
Okay. You open the pouch, and Willow very gently kind of puts his hand over yours and goes,
"No, it's mine."
No, dear. It's fine. Just I need the next person to do the competition, so I need the chair, please, my lovely. And he kind of almost picks you up, like guiding you by the hand, and walks off, and says, "Just don't open that in public. It is still a lot of money around here." And kind of, I realise that's meant to be a squeak, not an Irish accent. And says, "Go ahead later. You know, I still have people I need to get through."
Okay, I'll run away round a corner and then open my pouch of fun things that I just got.
I follow.
Okay. You notice in the pouch is 50 gold coins. But as you've opened it up, you notice in the very, very bottom there is. It's the size of a gold piece, but doesn't have quite the right colour. There's 50 gold pieces there, but there's this one odd coin right in the bottom. Can you do a perception check for me?
That one.
Okay, so other than the fact that it feels lighter than the other coins, its colour is just slightly off, and the inscription on it, the marking on it, doesn't seem like the others. To you, it looks just possibly like a rather old, withered coin that got thrown in with the rest, and it was an extra little thing you got, okay?
All gold looks a bit unfamiliar to me, so I'm like, oh, shiny things. Oh, another shiny thing. I'll take my shiny things. Woo.
Keep that as a note for yourself.
Can I sneak up behind her with my dagger out, just sort of poke it in her back a little bit?
Do a stealth check for me. Also, do it with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're right outside, basically one of the most fortified shipyards here.
Mm-hmm. I want to know why she was following me, and then I want to see what she's got in her hand.
I will say I'm pretty much oblivious because I'm just staring at lots of shiny things and very like, ooh.
So disadvantage would be 13.
Okay, you manage to get very, very close. However, the moment you've pulled the dagger out, 2 sets of hands go onto your shoulders, one on each side, and 2 armoured city watchmen just pull you back very slightly, and one of them kneels down and says, very, very politely, "I suggest you put that away, ma'am, and move away quickly."
I'm trying to protect myself. She was following me.
No. She's good. It's fine. It's fine. She's good.
See, I'm good. Get your hands off me.
Knife away, please, ma'am. And he kind of looks at Ilya and says, "Ma'am, we suggest you put the pouch away and maybe not follow unknown strangers around. As much as we try and keep these streets safe, it's not always easy."
Okay, thank you. I'll put it away.
Both guards kind of look at you skeptically, and one of them kind of just raises an eyebrow as the other is like, "Yeah, I know exactly where this is going." But both of them turn away and leave.
Yeah, go. Yeah, that's right. Why are you following me?
You look like some people from my village. You seemed kind, I guess, because they're kind. I thought you might be kind. The other people are tall. They're scary. You're old. You're short. I like old and short. I'm small.
You're also kind of strange.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. You know, maybe don't follow people just because they're old. That makes me vulnerable.
Okay. You don't seem very vulnerable. You have a knife. That seems pretty tough. I don't know. But
yeah, an old lady's got to protect herself.
Okay.
What you got there?
No, I don't have.
I saw you.
They said I don't. It's gone.
Just at that moment, Winston comes walking along the road, cheerfully tossing coins out to people. He's converted some of his gold into coins and he's throwing it at people, singing a lovely song as he goes.
I run over with my cloak.
I once saw a maiden lying by the shore. She was smiling right at me. I'll never know what for. I once saw a maiden lying
Okay.
by the shore.
So, you've now been distracted by Winston just creating an even bigger crowd of people. Because no one turns up free coins.
I'm scrambling for them.
I will leave you with that. Jasmine, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to work out how the town is charging us peanuts and giving out tons of gold. I'm wondering what's the scam here? I don't trust this. I feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Do you want to try out one of the competitions to see if you can learn anything more?
Yeah, what's the other competitions again? Remind me.
So, you have the one-shot solution, which is a maze. Call to arms, which is a wrestling match. Riddle me this, which is riddles. Best pie is in Libra. The Guardian's Plunge and the Target of Apollo.
What's the Guardian's Plunge?
It's a race from point 6 down to the Guardian statues out to sea. You collect a single coin off the base of the statue and race back, and that grants you 100 gold.
I'll do the Guardian's Plunge.
Winston and Meliana, are you trying any other trials?
So Winston is enjoying himself so much, and he's just enjoying the lovely fans that he has created. But he does see a small halfling who seems to be very stressed out and goes over to speak to her.
I'm not going to do any of these trials. Something's not right here. I'm just going to keep an eye on Winston.
Alright, so we're going to do the Guardian's Plunge. You make your way down to the main shipyard area as well, and they've opened up one of the entrances to the shipyard, and you go through the main gates, out the other bit aside, to an open pier, where there is 2 watchmen stood on the end of the pier, and there's a small little group already gathered. A male orc, a female human, and a male goblin. And they're already stood at the pier. They're stripped down. You note that they're still carrying a weapon of some sort, so a dagger or a sword. Nothing that can be fired, but you're allowed to keep at least 1 dagger on you. Now that Jasmine has kind of walked up to the pier, the guard says, we now have a team. Rules are simple. And he points out behind him towards 3 rather large statues in almost like an arrowhead formation just off the shore. And you can see they probably were made of gold or something at some point because they're glinting in the sun. But with sea air and salt and all of that, so they probably don't shine as brilliantly as they once did. He points out to them and says, each holds a coin. Grab the coin and bring it back. The first one back with the coin gains 100 gold.
As he was like getting ready, I kind of like disrobed because I'm kind of like wearing like basically like kind of what Xena Warrior Princess wore. So I'm just now in my underwear.
He lines you up along the front of the pier, pulls out what looks like a little whistle, goes on your marks, get set, and go. And it allows you to plunge straight into the water.
I just go for it. I kind of jumped just before he went go.
I don't think he's going to hold that too much against you. Can you make a athletics check for me?
As a nat 20 for a 24.
You are so ready that the moment he says go, you are down and out in the water, and you have taken a fair bit of a jump, so you've already got a head start anyway, and you are off. You have a very good head start on all of them. The orc practically stinks and starts panicking. The human is quite on your tail. And the male goblin is just struggling. He's never swum before. He is having so much trouble. You move out about 30 feet and you're pushing quite hard. You're trying to get there as fast as you can. Can you give me another athletics check, please?
17.
You give yourself another push and you're making good headway. The orc's recovered, is coming up behind you, and the human is pushing and they're catching on your heels. For the last final little push, can I have another athletics check?
21.
You can sense these 2 behind you and you give yourself that one final oomph power and you come up to the statue, and sat on a little pedestal in the front of it is what looks like a gold coin. It's obviously the one you're talking about, and you grab it. And just as you've grabbed your one, the human, you can see out the corner of your eye, has reached the other statue.
Could I, as I grab my coin and head off, mage hand to like flick his coin into the water?
You can do that with disadvantage.
What would I roll?
I'd say dex, because you're trying to do several things at once.
Well, that's in that one because of the disadvantage.
In your attempt to kind of like, keep focus, keep hold of the coin, and cast a spell, it does not manifest. It does not work. It kind of splitters out.
Too focused.
Yeah, you are way too focused. You're already setting off.
I was focused. Just jump back in and just go try to go back to shore.
As you're pushing off, you notice that the water below you is starting to churn a little bit more than it should do. And you start to notice rather large shapes starting to circle the swimmers, getting increasingly smaller circles towards you. Can I get a athletics check?
That's another nat 20.
As you've made that sudden push forward, breaking the water, mouth wide open, is a black tip shark. And it's narrowly missed you. And it kind of takes a bite and dives down.
First and foremost, I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself. Okay. Give me 5 temporary hit points.
Okay. Can you roll for initiative for me?
That's a nat 1 for a 5 total.
Well, someone got worse than you, so don't worry.
How did someone get what? Did he get that one as well?
Yeah, with a -1. You start pushing off, and 2 of these sharks take a hit at both the human and the orc, and both of them take a hit, which is not good. Well, for them anyway.
How many sharks do I see?
You only got 2.
And they're both on the people I left behind me.
Yes.
Well, I don't know them.
Okay.
Are any of them lovers of the art? Do I know?
No, you don't. You haven't heard enough of them to speak.
Well, survival of the fittest, I always say.
Okay, so you just gonna dash for it?
I'm going to keep going for sure.
Can I have one final athletics check from you?
That's a 6.
So, as these sharks are very much distracted by 2 swimmers behind you, you manage to pull that one last little burst of energy forward, and you reach the pier.
I'm just there breathing, and I sharks, water, dem dinner, coin.
Okay. 2 watchmen pull you out the water and onto the dry harbour plank. You have 1 level of exhaustion from the very, very physical push to try and get back at the same time. One of the watchmen check on you. The other one stands up, pulls out a very tiny whistle, and blows on it. You don't hear anything, but out by the statues, you can hear a very faint, distant hum. And for whatever reasons, the sharks just split. They run. Whatever noise it was, they did not like it, and they've disappeared. The other 2 make it back to shore. Both in a west where a couple of the other guardsmen run over to attend to the wounds, but only 2 of you made it back with coins. And the watchman hands you each a pouch and says, "Congratulations, the Guardians have smiled on you. Enjoy your prizes."
Did I keep the gold coin I received from the statue?
He very, very pointedly ignores the coin.
Does it look like a regular gold coin, like you'd spend, or something different?
At first look, it looks like a regular gold coin. Do you want to inspect it a bit closer?
I do. This just seems weird, as I'm putting my armor back on.
Are you doing it in front of them, or are you walking away to do it first?
Have I noticed them be weird when people try to look at their pouch of gold? When the others won their prizes and tried to look in their pouch, have I noticed that in the past? A few minutes
you
before?
were there when that happened.
No, I don't do it in front of them. I kind of just get dressed and put my gold away, and the gold coin I received, I kind of put separately so I can inspect later.
So you walk away. You make it out into one of the very many back alleys of the city. And as you take out the coin, can I have a perception check, please?
14.
You're normally a very perceptive person, and as you're looking at this coin, you notice that something just doesn't seem right to you. And as you look at it a bit closer, you notice it's a lot lighter than a gold coin. And as you look at it a bit more, you notice that the imprint on it doesn't seem quite right. You can't put your finger on it, you don't know why, and you also notice it doesn't shine like a gold coin. And as you run your thumb over it, you feel like this residue on it. It's a bit oily, which for some coins is common, but something in the way this sticks to this coin doesn't seem right to you. And as you turn it over in this way and that, something about it gives you a feeling that you want to keep it safe, but that it's not the coin it's portraying itself to be.
I kind of trying to scrape it to see if it was painted.
It doesn't seem to be painted. You do notice that as you scrape at it, the metal itself is very soft. Almost like if you put a nail in it, it will leave a mark behind.
I put the gold I received as a prize in my bag and put the weird gold coin in my breastplate to keep safe. If someone wants to rob that, they're going to crop a fill and they're going to die for it.
Yes, Mita is not afraid of that. I'm kidding.
You're on the other side of town.
I'm just saying that she wouldn't be afraid of it.
You have something to take note of on your Discord as well. The day is now passed on. You have had a time to mingle, you've had a time to have a look at some of the contests. Can everyone who has a passive perception over 13 please do a perception check for me? 13 or
Nope.
above.
Nope.
13.
I got 12.
11.
Winston is way too immersed in the crowd. The 16 gold he earned himself earlier is no longer 16 gold and has been passed out. He's now down to probably about 6. You're now into early evening. And the sun's starting to set. All of you have noticed almost as one, the town is shutting down. Markets are being closed, stalls are being latched up, windows boarded up. The market stalls are being stripped bare as if they weren't even there. But you also notice that as much as this may seem normal for the end of the day at the City Hall, you notice that the people seem a bit not there. Bit kind of phased and a bit airy in how they're walking and how they're doing things. It's almost as if they're on autopilot. But beyond that, they seem to be quite happy, quite cheery, chatting away, laughing, speaking about the day's events, if they tried any competitions, any money they won. And you notice that the watch itself are starting to converge in towards the main city hall. Are you following the people?
People, where are you going? Come back! I have more songs!
Before that, I'm going to go into an alley and open up that pouch I got because I haven't opened it yet.
You find, like the others, in the pouch at the bottom is an odd coin. Can you do a quick perception check on the coin, please? Can you also, for me, do a history check?
Perception 22 and history 9.
So, your perception check. You notice all these things wrong with the coin, and as you kind of put your thumb into it, scraped it across, you notice that the surface material is very, very light and soft. From your studies as a druid, you know that certain metals and minerals and things like that have different boiling points and different melting points. And given the feel of this coin, you know that the metal has a very low melting point and is not the metal that would be used for a gold coin. But as you're kind of pressing against it, you do feel that underneath this kind of very soft metal is a very rigid core. So there's something hidden underneath this surface. With that, dusk is now very fast approaching. The city guard are actually sweeping the streets and ushering people towards the main city hall.
Is there any stores still open?
None.
They're all completely closed.
Completely closed.
Is there an inn?
The inn itself just boarding up. Anyone take the back streets towards the main city, or are you all using the main streets?
I would take the back streets because she would
I'll take the back streets as well.
So
I'll just follow the crowd.
I'll take the main streets.
I'm going where people are going. I have no idea what's going on, but it looks cool.
Who's in the main streets? Lilia and
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay. Everyone who takes a back street, notice that in the housing areas and in the backs of businesses, there are several carts. There are literally, it's almost difficult to move because there are carts lined up behind the housing. It's very deliberately done so that you're not going to spot it walking off the main road. If you're on the main road, you're not going to see it as you walk past. But out in the back streets, there is loads of carts. And they are packed up with household goods, belongings, portraits. You're pretty sure you've seen a kitchen sink at some point. And for the businesses, any final stock is laid out in these carts. They're not manned. They're completely abandoned by the look of it. But they have recently been put in because you've known throughout the day that these places were fully stocked.
Can I have a look along and see if there's anything of interest that may have come out of a store or something like that? And she's going to try and sneak into that cart and rummage around. So whether there's anything from potions to anything at all in any of the carts that she could see.
You can see things of general use. So like health potions and things like that. But there's nothing in particular that catches your eye, as in these are things that you get a lot. And it's actually, after rummaging around for a while, it seems a bit odd that there is nothing of what would be considered high value.
Did you take the health potions that are there? Is there anyone around?
You can swipe a couple of health potions. I will give you 3. But you also notice that out of the alchemy shops and magic shops and things like that, and even the bookstores, a lot of the important documents, scrolls, things like that aren't there. Things that you think, you know, you'd have kind of like a overabundance of because they're not commonly used, because they are such high value items. There's none. It is very, very almost shop fronty kind of items. something that you would expect to see in a shop, or would give the illusion of a shop.
Are they like blocking anything in particular? Or?
They're not blocking. It is literally the back doors of these businesses are open. Everything's been pulled out and put in these carts.
Are there any tracks, like any footprints around?
Being this heavily footed city, any particular tracks aren't showing up. It is a very high foot traffic area, and given that people walk backwards and forwards to try and get to these carts and things, it is creating an absolute mess to try and track in.
Oh.
Are you saying that the back entrances of the shops are just wide open as well, or?
Yeah.
Can I go in and just investigate inside just to see what's
go and
going
have an
on?
Investigation, yes. Explain to me what business you want to go into first, and then we'll go from there.
Basically, she's obviously had a look into these carts, and she's thinking, this is a bit weird. She's thinking, was this like some kind of front for some kind of scheme or something like that? So she wants to have a quick look.
Okay. So you enter in through the back door, and it is what looks like a single room shop to start with. There's a counter right in front of you. And there's the open kind of business space, and then obviously off to the side is the office and the storeroom. You notice that the front windows are boarded up. And it's not like the normal kind of shutters kind of boarded up. It is boarded up. And the room is empty. You can now do your investigation roll.
16.
You can tell this wasn't done in a couple of hours. You can tell that probably a lot of this was either sold out, and if it didn't sell out, it went into the cart. It looks like well set out. Basically what you would expect, kind of like tables and shelves and things like that. But what you notice the most is the lack of anything. There isn't a single scrap of possibly an old scroll, no spillage of potions that can happen in these stores. It has been stripped completely clean. Down to, you're pretty sure someone's just put an arm on a shelf and just gone like this. Nothing, absolutely nothing is being left behind. Everything that was in this store is now in that cart out back.
And all the walls and everything feel like normal walls.
They feel like normal walls. You can get the feel that this probably was a family business at one point, but there is no trace of that left whatsoever anymore.
I'll start making my way back out through the shadows and head towards where everyone was going, just to see why everyone's gathering.
As you're coming towards the main city hall, the street from 1 to 3 is completely blank. It is left clear. Everyone is coming from the other sides, from point 6 and 5 to 7, but they're all converging in on this one building. And there is a massive crowd, huge crowd. And you'll note that you get kind of packed in together, and you'll stop for a little bit. And about 10-15 minutes later, the crowd will grow in again. And again, another 10-15 minutes, but no longer than about 20 minutes. And then you're moving in again. And as you kind of come in together, you come down to basically a small group of 10. And the streets kind of get quieter and quieter and slower. And obviously people have kind of moved off. And you note that there is crowds going out the back of the building. And obviously you'd assume going off towards their homes or whatever. For those that didn't take the back alleys, they'll be going off home. But they're going out the back of the building. So it's like a one-way system. You can assume it's a one-way system.
They're going into that meeting hall, the city hall.
You, as a small group, you end up with 3 others. One of which is a tiefling. They're kind of mid-height, black, short hair, red horns. One of which is broken, with a red tail with a black tip to it. And they kind of sidle up to the last little group. And 2 others, 2 halflings. They seem to be a pair because they're chatting amongst themselves. And one of them mentions, "Oh, we're the last group of the day then." As you are led into this building, and you are led in to a corridor. And along this hallway, you have 2 doors either side. One of which is stood open, with a city guardsman at the door. And he's going, our last visitors of the day. Please come on in," and points into the room beside him.
In this group, I'm going to stay closer to Lilia. Just sort of, if I'm going to be in a group, I'll be near her.
I don't know any of you people, so I'm going to stay by myself.
I don't know her, but I know that she's got something.
I stay next to the ukulele player. I like the music.
I'll just be thankful that someone familiar is next to me, and I'll just hustle up next to her and hide behind all the tall people.
Hello.
You've led in, and there's several rows of benches and chairs, and off to the side, behind the door, is a small plinth, and beyond that, just into the corner, is a little altar with a book propped up on it. The guardsman says, just take a seat. The Lord Lady will be with you in a moment.
Gonna sell us a house, are you? Like rent it for a bit and then go on holiday there, and then, this isn't like one of them welcome meetings, is it?
Wait, are you trying to buy a holiday home?
No, I'm trying not to.
See, I don't want to buy a holiday home either.
He closes the door behind him.
I don't like the sound of this. Last time I was shut in a room, it got very awkward. Mostly for everyone else in the room.
As you sit down, you do note that in the far back corners, there's 2 city guardsmen, and there is one off by a window. But also, as you kind of look round, you realise that there is other people behind you. So the original little 10 you had now turned to 20. There's other people behind you. But can I have a perception check from everyone, please?
That's my best perception check yet. Dirty 20.
That would be a 3.
Natural 20.
Which is a natural 1.
16.
Got 12.
Who got higher than 15? Hands up.
Jasmine.
I did.
Who got higher than 10? Okay. Right, so, Meliana, you note that the watchmen in the corners are watching specific people in the crowd. You can almost spot who they're looking at. Yasmita, they're deliberately looking at Lilia. Everyone who got 15 or higher, note that the other 10 people in the room who are sat here in the back are very, very stiff. They are staring right ahead and very quiet, very stiff, almost blank stares.
Do they seem real?
They are very much real. They are breathing. Bren, Keyleth, and Jasmine all note that the guards are looking at you. They're looking between the 3 of you, Lilia, and a couple of others in the crowd. But their eyes always come back to you.
I'm basically right next to Caliph right now, and I kind of quietly whisper to her, I have a bad feeling about this. This isn't right. Be on your guard.
I say to Bryn, as do I think, be ready.
Oh, what's going on?
Right.
Don't know. Seems fun.
Winston walks to one of the guards and is like, excuse me, when are we starting? And taps him on the shoulder. Excuse me? Hello?
The guard that you tap stood by a window, and he kind of raises an eyebrow at you and says, the Lord Lady's just finishing with the last group. She's saying her goodbyes. She'll be with you shortly. Please take a seat.
Do we hear that?
He's not very quiet about it. It's at a normal room level.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to start to go back towards the door.
You easily walk towards the door. No one's stopping you walking towards the door.
I'm going to open it.
You find it locked.
Oh, excuse me. I actually need to go. I'm not bothered about this meeting. Can you unlock the door, please?
None of the guards move. They simply say, the Lord Lady will be with you shortly. Please take a seat.
Now, excuse me, sir. The young lady asked to leave. What are you, 20?
Go in here.
The guard looks at Winston and goes, the Lord Lady will be with you. Please take a seat.
I step forward, and what if I don't want to take a seat and I feel like leaving instead?
The Lord Lady will be with you. Please take a seat. Bren and Keyleth notice that is the only sentence they are saying.
I shoot the door with an Eldritch Blast.
I was about to kick it, but you go for that. I am right in front of the door, though. Is that going to hit me?
No, I won't hit you. Wow, we'll find out.
Alright, do the shot.
That is a 14.
You can roll damage for me.
8 force damage.
Right. Blast hits the door, and it goes straight over Yasmita's head. It's like a really clean shot over her head. You can feel the heat, like kind of like a hot whoosh go over your head, but it's like a almost gentle breeze. You know, that kind of warm summer day whoosh. That's what you feel. You hear, however, it hit this door and it scorches it. The top of the wood does splinter slightly, but you note that the 10 people in the back of the room and the guards do not move nor flinch.
Did my spell do no damage to the door, or did some damage?
It did some damage to the door. It scorched it and basically splintered the upper half of the door. It's not kind of quite through.
Can I run an Arcana check and check if there's like any magic going on?
I think the spell you want is Detect Magic.
I don't think I have that. Don't worry then.
You can, if you want, you can do an Arcana check to see if there's any spells you know of that could cause this.
Yeah, I'll do that then. 18.
From your studies of magic, you know there are a kind of wide range of spells that could mix together to cause this. You assume that it could be a mix of anywhere from charm person to command to anything along that kind of vein of spells. You have the knowledge to know that it may also be an illusion.
I fire a door again. I won't be here no more.
Okay.
What about the tiefling and the two halflings that you said were with us when we walked in? Did they flinch?
The two halflings have flinched. They've kind of ducked under the chairs. The tiefling is sat there like this, is trying to avoid Winston.
Oh.
The absolute look of, now I understand why you almost fucking die every time. That is kind of the expression they have on their face at the minute.
Can I go and speak to the tiefling and just ask, are you from here? Do you know what's going on?
She looks up at you and goes, I haven't the fucking foggiest. And if that guy doesn't get himself killed in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to do it for him. And points deliberately over at Winston.
Winston, at this point, raises up his ukulele in the air and starts holding it like a bat and swings it at the guard's head.
Meanwhile, I've shot at the door again.
Okay, right, I'm going to do these two at the same time. The ukulele is a... Oh, is that a... Is it an unarmed strike? Take us an unarmed strike because you're a bard trying to hit someone with your instrument. Do the Eldritch Blast spell for me.
18.
15.
You, Winston, hit this guard square in the face, and beyond the inertia kind of reaction of being, the guy's head slams back against the wall and hits the wall quite hard. There's a really nasty crack, and he kind of comes back forward, turns to you and goes, "The Lord Lady will be with you shortly, please take a seat."
I don't like this at all!
His nose is visibly broken. He does not seem to register it. As for the door, you take another hit. Can you do damage for me, please?
11 force damage.
The door arcs outwards and splinters, but the lock is holding. Like, it's bowed the door. And you notice in the wood slightly further down, there is like a reinforcement in the door. Which, unfortunately for older buildings like this, is not uncommon where it used to be a fortified building. So, there is a metal shielding inside.
Can you mage hand to the other side of something?
It has to be within sight. Does someone want to check the windows? Can those that want to check the windows please do a perception check for me?
23 to check the windows.
23.
Nat 20, I want to check the windows.
18.
For all those that want to check the windows, as you get closer to the window, you notice that there is a sheen on the window. You didn't spot it the first as you came in, because obviously everything's going on is a bit weird. You know you entered this building at dusk. What you're seeing beyond that window is dawn.
You said there's a book on an altar.
Yes, there is. As Bren goes towards the altar, the
Mhm.
door just beside it swings wide and opens, and out steps a very tall, very thin lady. Her hair flows down to about her waist. Her features are very thin and angled. Her eyes are this almost deep black, abyssal black. And she is dressed in a very long, sweeping robe, shoulders quite back, with a very straight back, very intimidating aura. For our druids, you are seeing a very different image than the others. What you are seeing is what you would normally consider what a dryad would be considered to look like. Copperish skin, again, long hair, but it's tied back in robes that consider them a high druid.
Winston immediately lowers his instrument and goes, "Hello! Now we're talking!"
Okay, also, Yasmita, you were also seeing a different image. You are seeing the merchant.
Oh.
But they are stood very tall, very, straight backed, and they're not as hunched over as they were when you met them, but their face is covered by a hood. But you recognise them as the merchant. This figure walks in, and very kind of politely, in a voice that you would expect to come from the body you're seeing, they say, welcome. I apologise for keeping you waiting. The last group took a bit longer than expected to say goodbye. I do apologise for any inconvenience this may have caused you. please do take a seat. I understand that the atmosphere may be a bit unsettling at first. What do you guys do?
Winston immediately starts flirting. Oh, it's quite alright. I do enjoy hanging out with ladies such as yourself.
Can I get slightly closer to Bryn and just let him sort of relay what I noticed about the windows and just say, it's dawn outside. There's something strange going on here.
Indeed. Can I still check the book? I haven't read that yet.
They stop you just before you get to the book, but it is laid open. So what I'm going to say is, from what you were able to quickly glance, it looks like a old city record, which basically has like a on one column like a set of names. The next column is like a date next to that, and then a date, and then a date. So from like normal city records, you're probably assuming that that's someone's name, their date of birth, if they possibly got married that day, and then the day they possibly died. So this book has been laid out to fill a space, but it's not expected to be looked at close enough to say, hey, this shouldn't actually be laid out like this. So that will follow on from your previous perception check, by the way, because that was pretty good.
Okay.
My hand automatically, when I saw this person, and obviously recognize them, my hand automatically just reaches inside my many layers. And then I get really confused that Winston said that it was a beautiful lady, and I'm like,
How does Jasmine see them?
You see them as the tall, thin, very gaunt faced lady.
Okay.
Winston's now sort of strolling towards them, his hand outstretched with his ukulele lowered down, and sort of just playing softly, reaching out, trying to woo this beautiful woman.
You trying to get a discount?
What do you mean?
You know that the voice and the way this person is walking doesn't fit the merchant you remember, but they look like a spitting image of them. Okay? So just be aware of that. The lady kind of very gently the way they move also catches you. It's almost as if they're gliding. They're not quite touching the ground, and the robe hides their feet, so you're not quite sure whether it's just they move very, very gracefully, or if their feet are actually touching the ground.
I asked, what are we doing here? What has happened with these guards and the rest of these people? They're not right.
Oh, that's no problem. The guards are here just to keep everyone calm. Unfortunately, there has been some disturbances, and the way they reacted wasn't exactly the most easiest to deal with. So they've been given a calming sense. Do not worry, I will explain all in time. Just please take a seat for me.
Yes, I will lock it in.
Oh, the lock was for your own safety. Unfortunately, that is an old throwover from the building before. It locks automatically. This used to be an old holding cell.
I walk back towards Caleb and I kind of whisper to her, this lady's screaming red flag, we have to get out of here now. We have to go right now.
I think I say to Bryn, I agree, but I think, there's not much, we can't, but how? Maybe we should just sit and see what happens.
Okay.
Now, and then try and sit as near to the door as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, good idea. So I'm just going to do that then.
I'm just going to get as much distance between me and this woman as possible and just be ready for anything. I'm on guard.
You take your seats back. And the lady explains, thank you for joining our festival this evening. And today, as I understand it, several of you joined yesterday. Many of you I know took part in contests and succeeded. Congratulations. As you are winners of our competitions, we wish to invite you to a specialized feast for such winners, if that is not of any inconvenience to yourselves.
What about those who choked on pie?
The fact that you took part in our festivities and joined in the cheer of our annual festival, you are also invited.
So, really, we get the same thing as the winners. So, or is it a lesser feast for us?
Those that took part are joining the contest feast. Those that just came here for the cheer are joining our general feast at the city hall, just to bring our town together and bring them some form of unity in our little city. And you see, for those with high perceptions, so 13 and above, you notice that her expression, no matter what face you're seeing, their expression is a little forced when they say, "May the gods bless our queens, Nora and Elspeth." And you can tell from the tone that it is very forced in what they're saying.
So, when is this feast?
It will begin shortly. Our guards will take you out to where you need to be. But do not fear, you'll be joining us, as so many others have, onto our next journey after our annual festival. Just please bear with us a little bit more.
Do
The
I-
last batch are taking a bit longer than planned.
Do I get a sense? I trust him. Like, do I trust them? Like,
Can I also
thinking
do an
this-
insight check?
Because if basically do that.
Anyone who wants to, do an insight check for me.
19.
Natural 20 for once.
21.
22.
15.
So 17.
18.
All of you get the feeling that this woman is lying through her fucking teeth. You do not trust whatever is coming out of this person's mouth. They are.
I reach him for my crossbow.
So I say to as that's happened, I say to Caleb, let's go along with it. As soon as they escort us out, we make a leg for it. This can't be trusted. I think let them take us out and then we'll run.
I agree. I like your plan. I'm with you.
I step forward in my best, haughty attitude. What a wonderful idea, my lady. We shall join you.
Yes, we shall join you.
Is anybody else doing anything?
Join you? What?
Can I just detect magic?
You can do detect magic. Yes, please.
Thank God. I didn't have it. I didn't have the spell. I've been wanting to do it for so long.
I'm looking while she's doing that. I'm looking for any shadows to just like creep my way back into, like in the corners.
Right. You. So 12, 15. Dead on. Right. You know that the windows are an illusion. They're not there. They are completely fake. You also detect very heavy magic on the 10 behind you and on every one of the guards. You also can tell now that what you're seeing on this person or figure in front of you is a complete illusion. It's not real. So, what do people want to do?
Well, we don't know that, so I'm still just slinking into the shadow anyway. But...
Yeah, I don't know if she's delusional. I just don't trust her. I'm just trying to act hospitable and like I'm going to go where she's going.
Ask her who she is.
You can go ahead.
Like, who are you and what authority do you hold here?
She takes a pause and goes, "I am the Lord Lady. I run this town. I ensure that it is safe, that its citizens are well taken care of, and that they get the best that is coming to them."
Winston immediately hears what's coming to them and immediately is like, whoa! And again raises up his lute and starts charging towards her, ready to swing the lute to hit her across the face.
Seeing that, I'm going to pull out my crossbow as well. Just aim at her.
I cast Hex.
Cast Hex. Remind me what Hex does, but cast Hex.
Bonus action. She's covered in like a black vine. She has disadvantage on dex checks while I have that parted, and every time I hit her with an attack, she takes an additional 1d6 necrotic damage. And I know where she is for 8 hours as long as I'm concentrating on the spell. If they drop 0 hit points, I heal.
Is that only on your attacks that it has extra?
Yeah, only on
or is
my
that on
attacks.
everyone?
No, only on my attacks.
And is she grappled?
No, it's kind of like a purple mist just surrounding her.
Okay.
She can do anything, it's just surrounding her.
She stood there, or he, depending on who you're looking at, as this kind of purplish aura starts to materialize around her. She takes a very deep, almost disappointed sigh. You always choose to fight. Why are you trying to make it easier? Try to make it better. You would be so much more if you just
Right, okay.
in.
We're fighting our way out of here.
Yep.
And I said that to the guys. We're fighting
I
our way
mean-
out of here.
Winston
This is
is
it.
still charging with his ukulele.
So you're still heading.
Yeah.
Is the door that she came through still there and still open?
It is. The door is still there and still open. Yes.
So can I sort of start move running, and then at the same time as I'm going to say to Bryn, who's next to me, say, just come on, let's go. And try and get to the door.
You want to dive past her straight for the door. Right.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, I'd say as a stealth check.
Okay.
Because it's you're stealthing past her. You want to get past her and not be noticed.
Yeah.
Winston, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
do the same.
No, I'm still running towards her. I'm about to slap her across the face with my loot.
Okay, so do an unarmed strike for me.
And I'm just doing a stealth.
Yeah. Bryn and Keyleth are stealthing past.
Yep. So that's
17 plus.
What was I plussing?
7.
22.
And what was Bryn's?
7.
Lots happened at once. So you've succeeded in your stealth check because she is focused on someone walking towards her with a loot to hit her. But you do note that as you dash past, she clocks you out the corner of her eye, and she almost lets you go past her. Right. You hit, what was it?
I got 16 in total.
16. You hit, and you notice that the hit takes her like almost the chest area, because she is unspeakably tall, and it kind of catches her across the chest, but you don't feel the resistance you expect to feel. Almost as if some of the padding of her body isn't there. Some of the flesh to it isn't there. She is, whatever she is thinner than what she's putting out for you to see. So you hit, but it doesn't hit with the same force you expect it to.
As he realizes this, he shouts to Mel, "Mel, I think we have a ghost!"
Is anybody else doing anything?
I've got the hide action.
Yeah.
So as I said, I was looking for shadows to sort of hide into, and I can use that as a cunning action.
Yeah.
So can I hide and try and lockpick at the same time?
Are you trying to unlock the main door?
The main door that I was going to unlock with before she walked in.
Try the sleight of hand to lockpick. I'd say your hide action doesn't necessarily need to be done yet. Save that.
Okay.
For Bryn and Keyleth, who went into the other room, you come into a room like this. Okay, you come into what looks like a bedroom, of some sort. Bit odd to find in a city hall in this particular the spacing, but you note 2 other doors just beside you leading off in. So that way, corner.
I got a 14, by the way.
Can I try the door that's sort of on the bottom rather than on the right?
So this one
Does that
here?
make sense? Yes, that door.
Okay.
See
alright.
if that one opens.
Bear with me one moment. For the lockpick, you unpick the lock and you hear a click, and the door swings open.
I run out.
You run out. Jasmine, are you doing anything?
Okay, so Brennan swung the ukulele, and nothing happened.
Winston's
Them two.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
Winston's on the ukulele. They've gone to the back room which came out of. What's she doing currently?
She is stood there and she's looking very bemused. She knows something you don't, and she is not panicked by you fighting back.
What do you want from us?
Nothing beyond your potential. That's all I want is your potential.
Speak plainly. What does that mean?
You. We want you. Your potential, your gifts, the things you could do if given just the right time. And abilities. And resources.
For what purpose?
Why? The grand design, of course. What other
Uh-oh.
purpose is
Uh-oh.
there? All the Baldur's Gate players are going, oh shit, oh shit!
Oh no, I know it. Oh no.
Does that mean anything to Jasmine? It means a great deal to Chris. To Jasmine, though, does it mean anything?
Do a history check for me.
It means nothing to Jasmine.
I take it that was a nat one.
It was a 2, which ain't much better. I think it's a total of 4.
Okay. It is something, it's a phrase that's thrown about by so many different things throughout history that you probably would not know its significance.
Yeah, it's a 3.
Winston used to spend a lot of time in libraries when he was growing up. He might know what he's talking about.
History check for me. Anybody who wants to do a history check who's just heard that. So, Keyleth and Bryn wouldn't have because you're in the other room. What did you roll?
11 plus 2.
That's 13, okay, that's fine. What's Lilia doing?
She was hiding under a chair, and as soon as she saw the small person run out, she was like, "Forget about it, go!"
Okay, and
just
I
like
take
ran
it
away.
Yasmita's already out in the hallway when this has been said, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I didn't hear any of it.
19. Winston and Miliana, you know exactly what. There's only very few mentions of the grand design in lore or anything like that or history, and the one it's most commonly associated with is mind flayers.
Oh, great.
As a case of, that is the one that is most common, and even if it isn't, it's never a very good sign that someone has said that.
I don't want to turn into a squid person.
Jasmine hears the grand design, and she just instantly thinks of religion as like, oh, for God, it's another cult. I've already left like 6 churches. I don't want to be here anymore. And I don't know the windows of illusion. I tried to jump out the window, glass and all.
Right, Brim.
So if me and Caliph go down that hallway and that door that was locked, are we able to open that from our side?
As you open the door your side, the door that was locked suddenly flies open, and you see what was Yasmita and Lilia just dashing out. They are haytailing it out of that room.
Okay, yeah, we'll go.
We're all in the 4 of us are in the corridor.
Yes, the 4 of you are in the corridor. Hold on.
Let's leg it.
I would get slightly distracted by the other door.
So we've got our Lord Lady here.
Oh.
Our druid, Bren.
Which one? There's 3.
We're gonna have
Let's have a smaller one of that.
Bren. Caliph is the arrows. I will try and find actual markers for you guys. I'm going to.
If there's a mouse, give me a mouse.
I will try.
Because I'm little.
This one is Jasmine. We've got Lilia. So it's just easier so I can show you what you guys are. Lilia.
Oh. Your name came up.
Yeah, I think if you click them.
Or hover over them, maybe.
I don't have a mouse, so I'm gonna do Yasmita as this one because you pulled your dagger already.
Oh, I can move mine.
Yeah.
So cool.
I'm gonna have our bard here, so that's Winston. Right. Miliana in the stalls. I'm gonna. Yeah, there you go. You can put yourself in the stalls. Who am I missing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's everyone, I think.
There, and hold on, we need one more. Not that one.
6.
Oh, there was one for a bard, but oh well. And
Oh, give me the bard one. I want the bard one.
okay. Hold on, I need to select it. Give me a sec. Oh no, I'm still in pen. That's why. Would help if I changed that. And where's our bard? There's our bard. Our bard.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So that's where everybody is.
Okay. As I come up to that side door, I would have pushed, like, grabbed Lilia and pushed her past me to try and get her out, to try and protect her, because that's what she would do.
So this, are you talking about? Hold on, I need my pen again. Are you talking about this door here?
Yeah, that was where we came in, right? That was
Yes.
the main entrance. Yeah, I would have pushed her towards the thing to try and escape.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. First of all, Jasmine, you take 9 bludgeoning damage as you slam into a wall.
Damn, that's a lot of damage.
So as I take that damage, ice just goes up the wall from my armor. The wall has taken 5 ice damage.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That makes sense. So, you come out into the hallway, and our Lord Lady friend kind of just sighs and goes, "They always seem to run." And with that, she disappears and blinks away.
We don't know that because we're in the corridor anyway.
No.
We're still running. We have no idea.
The 4 in the room see she, as far as you're aware, just disappears.
Can Winston just take his loot and just sort of try and like see if she's there?
You can do. You feel nothing. It literally just swipes and she's gone.
I called it. She was a ghost.
The tiefling who has been watching all of this walks up behind Winston and just goes across the back of the head. You get us killed, and I will feed you to your family myself.
Mama, you suck.
People have said worse about me. So you're now in this corridor. What are you guys doing?
So I've pushed Lilia past me to try and get her towards the exit. And as I've done that, I've turned back to the door on the opposite side. And I'm going to just try it because I'm just too curious to not open up the door and see what's in there, if I can.
Right, so this door here, you come into what looks to be you assuming probably an official's office or like the captain of the guard's office here in the main city hall.
I'll duck in and close the door behind me.
Okay, can you make a perception check for me?
DM, I can sense where she went because of my hex.
Yes.
Where
You know that she is in the building, but you can also feel that she is getting further and further and further away.
17.
This entire room is staged. You know that this is fake as hell. It is what, when someone describes to you, oh, it's the captain of the guard room, this is what you would expect would jump to mind. This room is just fake. It's set up as it's pretend. It's not real.
Is that another door or at the back or
that window?
Or is that a window, yeah?
It looks like a window.
Have Have I seen, because we're sort of behind them in the corridor, I've seen Yasmita go in there, and
Yes.
haven't I? So can I sort of, because there's a bit of panic, can I sort of burst in afterwards and go and just say, "What are you doing? We need to get out of here."
Door! Close the door!
I close the door. What?
This is a real. Look at it!
Then I'm going to pick up a chair and I'm going to throw it through the window.
Okay. The chair hits the window and there's this very kind of like wood against wood thunk. And it bounces off, and there is in this window, and this very small strip in the window, you can see like a wooden planks dinted inwards, breaking this illusion of this window, and it's splintered where it's been caught on by this chair, and it's splintered inwards. And now kind of stepping back, you can follow the line. It's really hard to see to start with, but once you spot it, you can't unsee it. And you spot this line going from the window just up a little bit and down and around, following the path of a possible door.
This is a door.
I'm going to try and like slam into it.
I see Yasmita starting to bang against it, and I think, okay, I'm going to help you. I go, fine, good enough, and then start trying to push my weight, and I call out for Bryn. Whilst we're doing that,
I haven't even bothered looking for a handle.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way into there as well, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna head towards like the front door of the building and see if it's unlocked.
Okay. So you're gonna head to the front of the building.
I would have gone in where Yasmita was.
Okay, that's fine.
Seeing other people
Trying to save you.
No. The door is very much locked. And actually, as you try to touch it, there is a very you've got resistance from the air. There is something between you and this door.
Fucking damn it!
Sorry.
Are we having any luck with the door?
Right.
Door,
are you just trying to slam into it? Like old shoulder slam into it.
I am. I don't know what she's doing.
We're going. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3.
Can both of you do an unarmed strike for me?
Oh God, is that just a D20?
I think it's for most of you. It's a D20 plus 1.
Okay.
Unless you've got good strength, then it's possibly a bit more.
It'll say on your actions part.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wait, is
14 from me.
What? Sorry, and I'm doing an unarmed strike.
Yeah, unarmed strike.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a 10.
Oh, wait a minute. When it says hit /DC, is that what I'm adding?
Hold on. Let me find your thing, because if
remember.
I could see it, then I can tell you.
Do you say it's a wooden door?
It is a wooden door.
Okay. I would like to cast a cantrip.
Okay, 1 second.
Hold on.
Yeah, bear us 2 seconds. So yeah, you would roll your D20 and then plus the 2. The hit /DC
Plus
is
the 2.
plus 2.
Okay, so in that case, 15.
15
And
and what
10
was
for
it?
me.
10. Right. You both together slam into this door, and it does start to buckle. You can feel it starting to give. So this door is not designed to be locked. It is closed, but it's latched in some fashion. So, Bren, are you trying to?
Yeah, so I would like to cast Produce Flame.
Yeah.
And then I would like to hurl it at the door.
We're on the door.
That sounds like a you issue.
Look, this will be the second time I've been at a door and someone's fired at it. So I'm like,
you just start trying to open the doors.
Bren, are you Are you aiming above their heads, or are you just generally aiming at the door?
Above their heads, yeah.
Okay.
So that would be 1d. Okay, so plus 6.
For this math second.
22 to hit the door.
You hit. And you hit with such good aim that you've catch the upper half of the door, and you hit it with enough fire and force that it releases the latch on the door, and it swings open, and both ladies just kind of go tottering forward into the corridor beyond.
So we've fallen and we're tangled up.
While we're tangled up, I'm going to look
I'm
in your
sorry,
pocket.
guys. I just trying to help.
I'm kidding, I'm not actually going to.
You
We're into it.
You ladies find yourself out in a corridor. It doesn't seem anything really remarkable. It doesn't, there is a door in front of you. But beyond that, there doesn't seem to be any obvious signs on these walls. It just looks like a corridor to connect possibly what was the old half of the building with the new half of the building. Miliana and Winston, what are you doing?
I feel like I'm having an argument with Loma currently.
In that case, Loma is probably dragging you by the ear and dragging you out, going, I'm going to get you out of here. Whether
Ow, 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 ow.
Miliana, what are we doing?
I'm just gonna follow.
Yeah.
And watch.
Yeah. Okay. So, Loma, the tiefling, spots that obviously this door's open, kind of pokes her head in, and just goes, huh. Okay. And notes Jasmine down by the door and goes, you following? Or we trying the door? What do we think is the best path?
The door's not working. There's some kind of force field. Guess we're following that chaos.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah, no, just happens. And Loma seems really unfazed by this at this point and follows behind the group, still pulling Winston along by his ear.
Ow!
Okay.
Please just take my arm. Why does it have to be the ear?
So,
I'm gonna basically say, like, for us to sort of spread along here and just check for exits, because I don't know which way's out. So I'm gonna say, everybody check for exits.
I just get really panicky, like, this is going mental. We need to get out of here. Come on. And just like run through too.
Start spreading out.
Okay.
Winston's like, okay, I'm going.
Check there.
Alright. Okay.
So I've spread myself.
I'm just following the chaos.
Okay. There we go. Jasmine.
Can we try this top door?
The one in front of you? Or...
Yes, the one that.
Oh, what are we looking at? Because what's doors and what's what?
Right, this is a window.
Yeah.
This one is... looks like it was meant to be a window, but again, it's boarded up. The only door is this one right here.
One I'm at.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So where Winston and everything Winston is where the door is.
As I'm gonna obviously try this door as well because I'm right at it. I will also be just shouting and saying, "The windows aren't real. Check everything."
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna try. I'm trying this door up here.
Okay. You know that it is a window. This one is actually real. But you also note that some kind of, you don't know what logic it was, but an illusion's been put on it to make it look like the outside. For some reason, it looks like you're looking out onto the street beyond. You don't know whether someone was just doing it in a rush or didn't quite understand the assignment of what was meant to be going on with these windows. because when you kind of reach up to tap it, it looks like it feels like it's been boarded up. So probably when they built the new part of the building, they just boarded up this window that was no longer of any use. But someone's been told you need to put illusions on the windows and put illusions on every window.
I don't like it in here.
I'm going to try the door.
Right. Is this the one down? Go on.
Can I cast Bardic Inspiration on whoever's opening the door?
You can do, because that's on checks and everything, so that's going to be helpful.
Okay, I'd like to cast Bardic Inspiration.
Open the door. Open the door. I believe in you, so be inspired. By inspiration.
So with that wonderful little call.
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
You do find it locked. But it is a very, very flimsy lock. And just one kind of like shove against it, the door swings open. Revealing this room. I'm going to have to carefully do this because I've got 2 layers there. Aha, yeah. And you step out into a room. Very large, wide room. Bear me 5 seconds because there was meant to be something on here that there isn't. There's a rug in the middle of the room.
Beautiful.
I shoot the rug. It looks suspicious.
I wonder who wants to look under the rug.
I would try and move over to the other map because there is more on there, but
Right.
you've got all your
No,
players.
we
ID
can't
on there
see
already,
anything.
So yeah.
Well, first thing that I'm gonna notice, I'm assuming, is this. Is it blood on the floor? Or, I mean, can I just perception this, or what?
Yes,
What do you want me to do?
you can do a perception check for the entire room if you want to, or just the floor, whichever you want to do.
Well, it's a low roll anyway because I'm probably distracted by whatever I'm about to step in. So perception. Oh, I guess how does Bardic Inspiration work? Do I use it whenever, or do I have to use it on this?
I believe you can choose. I'm going to double check for you. 1 second. It's a 1d6 for 10 minutes. The creature can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. So it's up to you. You can use it straight away, or you can save it.
Or I can save it. I'll save it. And I'll just give you. It is a 9.
It's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You can assume that it is very much dried blood. You're not entirely sure, but the colour's right. The kind of smell you get when you enter this room, that very irony, tingy, kind of clinging at the back of your throat smell, is giving you the indication this is probably blood.
I'll move further in so that other people can come in.
Jasmine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
You note that you can no longer sense the Lord Lady. For whatever reason, they are now well off and out of your range. Okay.
Guys, she's gone. I can sense her, but now she's gone. She's no longer in the building.
Good.
That's a relief.
Does that mean we can get out?
Crazy biatch.
Can I follow, sort of hear the commotion of the door and then follow into the room?
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I want to check out what's on the tables at the far end.
Okay.
It looks interesting.
Add to the journal. Ghosts don't like being hit by instruments. We should write this down for future reference.
Can you find anything up at the top?
Right. So, as you enter this room, you are very much thrown by the smell. It's very reminiscent of fresh graves. It's that kind of nasty, earthy, wooden smell.
I'm just going to stay at the door and just look in.
You get a very distinct smell of blood in the air. And for our arcane inclined among us, you get a very strong kind of tingling in the air that says a lot of magic has been used in this room. And not necessarily the most savoury type of magic.
With my past of what I've been through, like with religion and stuff, do I get the feeling of like ritualistic sacrifices and stuff like that? Can I do like a religion or arcana check?
Do an arcana check.
I was going to say I could cast detect magic now if I'm feeling something specifically.
Okay.
That is a great 10.
Okay. 10 is actually good for this room. You yes, please do detect magic. For you, Jasmine, it doesn't seem ritualistic as in sacrifice, but you get a very familiar kind of tingle from when magic's been used experimentally. It's been used for experimental purposes.
I want to move over. Is that a chimney?
Yes, there's a chimney there.
So I'm going to walk like directly across the floor, towards the chimney.
Okay.
Obviously, going over the carpet. I don't know. So just going straight across.
Do a perception check as you walk across for me.
What was up here?
It's a window that's been boarded in.
18 plus.
Could I take my crowbar out and start to take down the boards?
You most certainly can try. They come away very easily. They're not anything. They're not nailed in great. It's obviously done in a rush job of it needs to be covered. As you pull the planks away, you are looking into what you probably would like a room with a line of beds either side. It's staged to look like what barracks might look like. And you know it's staged because it's too clean, it's too simple. The beds don't look slept in at all. They look brand new.
22.
You walk over this rug. It is thicker than you expect it to be from what you've seen. And you do note there is a kind of, when you step on it, it gives the feeling of a very loose floorboard, and it has a lot to give. And at first you're kind of like, this is not going to hold my weight. This is a trip hazard.
I'm light.
Yeah, this is a trip hazard waiting to happen, kind of thing. So you do note there is something going on with the boards underneath this rug. As to
is this another door down the bottom?
Yes, there is another door. Hold on, I will grab that. I will choose a different color. This one here is a door as well.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm just gonna, for everyone's safety, I'm gonna go.
Guys, just be careful. This feels like a trip hazard, or maybe the floorboard is gonna break. So the loose floorboards, okay? Under here, right here.
And then I carry on towards the chimney.
Where's right here?
I'm pointing at the middle of the carpet.
Lilia was saying you wanted to check the tables at the other end of the room.
Yeah, and I have detect magic.
Okay.
Just to see what's going on.
No trip.
Okay.
On the tables, you do notice a lot of chemical items, very, very reminiscent of magic study, so that detects for you. But you also notice that there is a door open to one side, and you are getting a very strong glow of magic behind the door. But you also, as you're looking at the tables, there is organs on the table, most specifically a brain. just kind of in a bowl, set out in a bowl
I hate-
of
I hate you.
fluid.
I hate you, Tasha. I hate you, Tasha.
And on the other side of this alchemical station is a heart set in another bowl set with fluid.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. No.
Are you okay?
Bye-bye. And I'm gonna run away to the door.
I sort of hear that she's sort of panicked and sort of go directly across to try and have to see what it is that she's
You
worried
very
about.
quickly very quickly spot what it is that's unnerved her so much, and
Have I felt
I'm
anything by going across the middle of the room?
are you doing a perception check as you go?
Yes.
So
I will
are
again
you
then-
taking in the room as you go across?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going
Rooms
to
is in.
call. I'll do the perception check with you in just a second, but beyond that, I will call the session, and I will leave it there for the next time to come in, starting right in this room. So, can you roll your perception check for me real quick?
That is 21.
21. You take very quick note of the bloodstains, the way they're heading, where they're laid out in front of the chimney, in front of the workstation, right at the door. You also take note of the pockmark kind of fire burns in certain areas of the room, that there has been some sort of magical fight gone on.
Okay.
They look old and they look worn over, so obviously whatever fight went on was before all this experimentation took place and before the bloodstains, because some of the bloodstains overlay these pockmarks. You are also getting a very strong sense in the back room that you haven't quite entered yet. But you feel out of all the rooms that you've been to in this place, this is the only real room that's been used, and it's for the purpose that it's been shown as. This has had very heavy traffic. There is dinks and dunks in the floorboards where people are being walked across, things, furniture changed around. You also do take notes of the 2 wooden beds in here that have been. There are stains on here that you do not want to know the answer to or what they are. And there is very obvious signs of blood staining on these as well. So, with that horrific little description, we will call our session here for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for. We'll hopefully see you in the next session. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a weird one for you. And hopefully we'll see where our team go next. Until the next stream, bye-bye, and have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.